before we go into the locker room?
We have a contract for a fight, and two guys are going to get in there and do their thing. I don't think gloves is an issue on who determines the winner and the loser in a fight.
So is Maidana going to be able to wear the gloves of choice?
I'm not going to sit here and talk about what we're doing and all that stuff. I mean, we have a contract to fight. Maidana's coming into the fight with a tremendous amount of confidence. He had a lot of success in the first fight, and you know, I fully expect it. He's going to come and bring it the same way this time out.
Floyd hasn't taken a rematch since probably Castillo. Why do you feel he thought he needed to take this rematch? I mean, most experts feel that Floyd took off after the second half of the fight, fairly, you know, kind of obvious.
Well, it's not really always about the experts, because that's what a lot of times that people get caught up into. It's about the fans. The fans is the one that demanded this fight. Floyd was in his toughest fight to this date with Marcus Maidana. It was a fight that everyone enjoyed. Some thought that Maidana won, some thought that Floyd won. And Maidana's performance dictated the fans wanting to see this rematch.
How did you gather that information? Was it from maybe Floyd's Twitter or emails that you guys might have gotten? How did you know that the fans were like at 50-50 on this?
Well, I think you go back and you look at the fight and you see that Floyd normally has a pretty easy time with these guys, and there was a lot of things that he did in the fight that you know, they worked, and he had a lot of success in the fight. That speaks for itself.
What exactly were the issues with Maidana's gloves in the last fight that you guys objected to?
I don't really want to go into the glove part, because the glove part has nothing to do with what we're getting ready to do now. Everyone knows what happened, so there's no need to go back down that road and kind of rehash something from a couple months ago that really isn't going to play a factor in, you know, this fight. Whether or not that he wore gloves or didn't wear gloves, he had a lot of success in the fight, and he's earned this right for the rematch.
Talk a little bit about the promotional aspect, you know, obviously with Golden Boy and, you know, the changing dynamic, you know, Mayweather Promotions. Can you tell us a little bit about, you know, how you guys are going about the promotional aspect now?
We're working together, and we're going to go out there and promote the hell out of this fight, and the fans are going to be the winners of this thing.
Do you think that hinders like other opponents though? Like, you know, are you guys still going to work with Golden Boy fighters, or, you know, that type of deal?
We're focusing on this promotion. Yeah. I never look anything past from what we're doing, because you can never get ahead of yourself. You know, we have a good working relationship, and anytime that your business principles, I just said this the other day, anytime your business principles are predicated on the revenue, opportunities, and the benefits of your fighter, nothing else matters.
Can you talk a little bit about, you know, I heard rumors that the fight might have taken place in New York at some point. They were maybe at the Barclays Center. Why did you guys choose the MGM Grand again?
Well, the MGM Grand is, you know, we've been fighting there the last 8-9 fights. You know, there were several offers on the table, and Floyd made a decision that we're going to fight at the MGM.
We know that.
Leonard, you all spoke of a surprise coming in May. He says, you know, I got a big surprise for you guys in May. I'm fighting Maidana now, but I got a big surprise.
Oh, Floyd was just talking.
Can that surprise be a fight out of the U.S., maybe in the UK with Amir Khan?
We're fighting Marcos Maidana on September 13th. That's all Floyd's focus is.
Have you thought anything beyond September 13th at all?
Why would you?
Well, because you're the CEO. Yeah. You're in charge of day-to-day operations, so today's day is done. You have to think for the future, no?
We're planning a promotion, and I got to put all my efforts in to make this event as big as possible for all the fans across the world.
Now, you told the last reporter you had a good working relationship with who? With Golden Boy? Is this fight being co-promoted with Golden Boy?
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
And usually when you have a good working relationship, do you hire people that they fire? Because you guys hired their CEO, right? Bruce?
I don't want to get how I run my company. It's none of nobody's business on how I run my company.
Well, it's public record. It's all public.
What's public?
you know, like who Golden Boy released and who Mayweather Promotions.
And what does that have anything to do
no,
with?
because you're saying that you wanted to keep it private. But I'm just saying these things
Keep
get
what
printed.
private? But I'm saying you kind of confused me because you're saying that something about somebody released somebody, and what does that have to do with anything what we're doing?
When Golden Boy let go of Richard Schaefer, they also let go of the CEO, and Mayweather Promotions hired him, correct?
I'm going to put on the biggest and best event possible, and I'm going to do whatever I need to do to make that happen.
Can you talk a little bit about the undercard? Yeah. Can you talk a little bit about the undercard? I know there were talks of Broner. I think he's fighting on September 6th now. Who do you guys know who's on the undercard yet?
No, I'm working through that right now. It'll be as normal. We always put it on the best events in the sport.
Any hint on Mayweather's surprise in May of 2015?
May of 2015. We're fighting September the 13th against Marcos Maidana. That's where all our focus is.
Is Broner a possibility for the undercard?
No.
Can you talk a little bit about Floyd's style? That this is only the second time he's given a rematch, if I'm not mistaken. And that second fight with Castillo, he was pretty dominant in that one. It was a little bit close the first time with Castillo. How do you think this one's going to play out?
Well, that if I'm not mistaken, that was 12 years ago. And at that particular time, Floyd was 25 years old. He's 37 now. So quite a few things have changed. I think, once again, Maidana's performance has dictated why we're here today. If he'd have came in and Floyd would have beat him easy, it was a tough, rough fight. He was able to do a lot of things. Floyd was able to do a lot of things, and at the end of the day, this is the fight that the fans wanted to see.
From the Canelo fight to the Maidana fight, I think Canelo's a little bit bigger name. That's why you guys did a little bit better on the pay-per-view side. How do you see this one playing out for the pay-per-view? You think it'll do a little bit better than the previous fight in May?
We had a tremendous amount of success in May, and I expect nothing less than a tremendous amount of success come September. We're going to roll out everything we got, and it's going to be a big event.
Wasn't the number of buys for the last pay-per-view 850,000?
No.
What was the actual number?
I got the paperwork in my bag, and that's for me to know, Steven to know, and Al and Floyd.
Don't you think that approach is a bit unfair and unjust to the fans? Because Floyd boasts to be the biggest pay-per-view draw. He boasts to do a million pay-per-view. So why shouldn't the fans be released that information?
Because I'll give you a great example. At the end of the day, do you think the casual fan is thinking about a number? Or is it that they're buying the pay-per-view because it was a great fight?
Well, that's part of his persona.
No.
Money Mayweather. That's part of his persona to boast, to buy the Bugatti,
and guess
to
what?
say I'm the biggest pay-per-view star, but you have to prove that.
And guess what? I have proof. I have proof.
But you won't release it to the fans?
Because I have proof. I have proof that
How hard is it to say you did 1.2, 1 million, one pay-per-view buy over $1 million?
Because sometimes those kind of things are what the focus are.
The hardcore fans care.
No. And guess what? Sometimes you can't get what you want, and sometimes you're not going to make everybody happy. No.
Floyd only has a couple of fights, two, this one and then two more. Do you think I don't want to be I don't want to be cliche here, but you think he'll ever fight Pacquiao? No, that's also, you talk about the fans wanting that fight. That's still a fight that fans want to see.
I can't answer that question right now. I know Floyd has been willing to fight any and everybody that he can. You can't make people do something that they don't. You know what I'm saying? But our focus is on Maidana. Yeah. See, what happens is anytime you get ahead of yourself, then you can't give 100% because you're looking past what you have in front of you. And we've been able to be very successful by focusing on the task at hand.
Yeah, it's understandable, but it's just you talk about the fans wanting, the public wanting it. Yeah, and they do want this fight, but I still think they already saw this. This was a good fight, but a great fight would have been possibly Pacquiao. I know the promotional aspect over the last 3 or 4 years or whatever it is, but what do you think it needs to happen to make that fight? That's still one that the public wants.
I don't know. I mean, I can't answer that question. I truly can't answer.
Is it more the promotional aspect, or is it more what do you think holding it back at this point? I mean, if both guys sat down at the table, do you think they could work it out at some point?
Maidana on the 13th. It's going to be a heck of a fight.
I think the
Excellent.
last fight and the fouling that occurred, were you emphasizing